How are you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing great.
Good, good. Excited to be back in the midst of it.
Yeah, it's starting to feel more like a normal thing. Like I had Ubby Dubby and then SMF and then this.
You've
And
played like every major festival
yeah,
back.
which is cool. I mean, I was telling a lot of people that I love festivals and like I'm always down for the big crowds and huge reactions and stuff like that, but I'm like dying for an in your face kind of like intimate venue or like to do more stuff like that and like
Absolutely, like
get out there.
500 cap
Yeah, get on
rooms.
the rail with them and shit like that. Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, I assume you have some stuff working this fall where you're
Yes.
gonna be
Yeah.
doing
Yeah, a
that
lot of
and
that
stuff.
Should
Yeah.
be cool.
It's cool because it's like the energy here is super awesome, but I feel like when you're in a venue, the energy is completely different.
Yeah, where you can like see the heat in front of you, like everyone's just going crazy on the rail. Like a Chinese laundry vibe would be so nice right now in Australia.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
I've only played there once and it came off of like a really long China run. And that was like my first show I played in Australia ever and I was like, "Oh, I'm moving here one day." Like
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
it.
absolutely. That's like a super historic venue too.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that was super dope to play.
Yeah, it was almost like intimidating because of how high the standards are for crowds there. Like I was like,
Yes.
"Cool.
Yeah, and you can just
I gotta
like
throw
feel.
it down." Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it super different, like vibe wise and crowd wise, when you go overseas, or is it kind of comparable in the same sense?
Australia wasn't like really super on the headbang wave. It's more like I've certainly seen like Murata stage presence.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it's a little bit more like that, but like they go crazy and like it's one of those places where they scream the drops louder than the actual like you hear them like mouthing the drops over everything like
Damn.
in all the Chinese laundry. And like China is like got some like crazy in sync headbanging. Like they have weird like the crowd is just so like linked together.
Yeah.
That's great. Japan is incredibly like passionate. Like I don't know, you
Oh.
can just feel like the
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. Like that was one of the places I like cried on stage. Like I
No
just
way.
love Japan. I wish I got to spend more time there and the weather was a little better. And
Mm.
I was from myself again, coming off another China run and just stayed for like a weekend and like Slander hooked me up with some really good people and I met the promoters and stuff and like I had the best time of my life. It was
That's fucking awesome because you guys are all on Prodigy, right?
yeah.
That's a nice family to be a part of.
It's the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got to like move into them with my current manager, Mike Lasanti. So it wasn't like a lot changed, but like a bunch did at the same time. But operations were still the same. Like that's my guy, my go-to, and everything. So
That's awesome. How long have you been with Mike and with Prodigy? I know one was longer than the
yeah,
other.
Mike picked me up in like I think he's been managing me for like 5 years now. And like he just DM'd me on Instagram and like, you know, it was a situation that worked out really well and like we just did like a trial period like yeah, let's just see how we click like and like in the first week of just, you know, chatting and working together, he had like fired up like a whole like Dropbox and like you're gonna put this here and we're gonna start doing this to get you these shows and like I was like, whoa,
All
is this
about
how
it.
things are
Yeah.
supposed to be? And like basically got me like offered for a full EP with Never Say Die and I was like, yo, let's just do it. Let's lock this down and like
And that was your start with Never Say Die?
yeah.
Oh,
My
no
start
way.
with Mike and my start with Never Say Die were kind of like
That's huge.
both rolled together and like, you know, it just started snowballing at that point. So
Because Never Say Die is like your family. That's kind of like
Yeah,
your home grounds.
yeah.
And you just had a release on Never Say Die, and you just had your first drum and bass release.
yeah, with Monster Cat.
Yes,
That was
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, how was that working with Teddy Killers, right?
It's sick. We
Yeah.
actually have like way more stuff we're working on, but I haven't been able to touch. Like we have another finished drum and bass one, and then we have like they want to work on like some dubstep stuff too. So that'll be sick.
Exchange.
Yeah, it's cool working with them because like I've said this a few times where like a lot of like dubstep people can make a drum and bass tune, and it sounds like a dubstep person making a drum and bass tune. But if you send something like that to OG legends like Teddy Killers, they can put like that sprinkle on it that like the tune was like really developed when I sent it to them, but they sent it back and I was like, this is so much fucking better. It's so cool. Like they just killed it.
It's all like the subtle differences.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like people should be, like artists should be more receptive and open to like collaborating with other artists in other genres.
Yeah.
Like, because you can just learn so much. Because I feel like it's like an analogy is like a guitarist picking up bass or a bassist picking up guitar.
Yeah.
And it's like the bass, like you can totally play it if you know how to play guitar, but you may not know how to really like play it, you know?
You can also tap into that kind of like first 6-month era of like where you can just grow and like absorb all this knowledge before you start to plateau. And it's like a really stimulating feeling, like when you're producing in the first 2 months and it's like, this is my first drum beat, like this is sick. And then like,
Yeah.
whoa, I made my first this growl, this is sick. Like I feel like going through a new genre almost like re-sparks that like initial love for creating anything in the first place. So I definitely is a go-to technique of mine when I'm like having gnarly writer's block or just like am struggling with bass music. I'll like try to write like a hyper pop song or house music or whatever, just to.
It's like that producer bug. That,
Yeah.
like when you first start, I have like a Patreon where I do like beginning lessons with like kids
Yeah.
and shit. And I know you teach lessons too.
Yeah, I haven't in a while, but
Yeah.
I'd
Well,
love
now
to,
you're like
yeah.
back to normal.
Yeah.
Were you doing that a lot over COVID?
A bit.
Eh.
Like when I got like a big surgery bill for my dog's thing, I was like, oh, I'm gonna take on some lessons, and like I didn't even ask for anything, but I was like, yo, I'm gonna do some lessons. I want to pay for this, and people just started like paying
Oh,
for
I
it.
can't
was like,
imagine.
it was like one of those situations where I was like, wow, this community goes hard, like for the right stuff. Like,
I've always said like the people who support this community and the fans in it will spend their last dollar to support
Yeah,
artists and
it was
their last
crazy.
dollar to support festivals.
Even Keizo messaged me and was just like, hey, let me know how much to cover it and I'll pay the whole thing. And I was like, please don't do that. Like, I can't
my
take,
God.
I didn't want handouts at all. I was like looking to give lessons. And I love giving lessons and I love streaming. And I kind of pride myself on making, taking really like gnarly techniques and kind of breaking them down and making them more absorbable and kind of like, see, this isn't like layering isn't like this mind fuck of like knowing how to put everything. There's so many fun ways to approach it and like trying to push people into that area, like a step out of their comfort zone is like where a lot of cool stuff is going to happen with production. So
it's like a mindset too, and it's like from a faraway view, it's so intimidating and it's so like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
And then when you get somebody like yourself where it's like either YouTube videos or lessons, it's just so easy just to even have an hour with someone to be like,
Yeah.
how the fuck did you do that?
Yeah.
And it's heartwarming too to like help someone. But I've noticed like newer producers, they just get that bug where they're like, yeah, I haven't slept in 4 days and I just keep making music. But it's cool when you like get into a new genre because what you said, it kind of re-arises like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I definitely hit that era like kind of late too. Like I graduated Icon and I was grinding
that?
at Icon. It was sick. And it was like really in its prime. Just like there were very minimal tutorials, minimal sample packs. There weren't people like Virtual Riot Twitch streaming showing like how you can do anything you need to do. So like it was amazing just for the kick in the ass of like you're doing music 40 hours a week to pass this. And then
Yes.
like graduated from there at the end of 2015 and immediately became a full-time sound designer for Somatics. So like I had the hours, like, and at the end of the day, like hours are so important. And I was like pushing myself to levels of like vitamin D deficiency, like not leaving my studio in like 18 hours straight,
Holy
like
shit.
just like doing dumb stuff like that. But
Yeah.
like, it pays off at the end of the day. It's
It does.
not
And
the
then you
best
find the
approach
balance,
mentally.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it is about, I feel like that's a very common thing that I hear where you just really go all in, and then once you get to a certain level you're like, okay, let's find some like work life balance, because
Yes.
it's so easy to just have this be your whole life.
Yeah.
You know?
It definitely bottomed out for me in COVID when I got like really sick and really skinny, and I was like prioritize like my dieting and gym and fitness and stuff over everything, and then everything like kind of fell back into place naturally.
line.
Like
Yes.
the like stress is like the root of everything that people just ignore and brush off, like stomach issues, like sleep issues, like everything can like
Dude,
veer
yeah.
back to that. And a lot of that was like tapped into my writing, where I was like, I need to be this good and this much better than this last song. And every time I would write, all these health symptoms were flaring up, and I was like, this is I can't do this like relationship with music if it's going to be this hard on my body. So I had to like go back a few steps and like work on myself before even like trying to write anymore.
So what did you do? Because like, not to get like personal or anything, but like I've gone through some stuff like ever since COVID,
Yeah.
where I have like the stomach issues and my chest pain and shit like that. So it's like, what are some things that you've done that have
mean,
helped you?
like I do a lot of things. Like I try to, if I'm working or not going to the gym, I try to take like 3 walks a day with my dog. Like,
I have a dog too, so I'm
yeah,
totally on
I've
that
literally
wavelength.
quadrupled my hydration. Like, I just carry around a giant thermoflask. I've cut a lot of preservatives and cook more, and I exercise 5 to 6 times a day. I meditate. I take cold showers. I take supplements. Like, I'm in for the long haul of like what's gonna make me feel the best
Yeah.
I can feel. You know.
Meditation is something that I've really been inquiring to look into
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
feel like it can help a lot. I get why
I
liquid
can't
stranger
really
does it.
like zen myself out or like
Yeah,
sit
yeah.
there and like I'm gonna relax myself. But there's
Yeah.
breathing techniques called there's this one called the Wim Hof breathing where you like overly pump your body with oxygen and then you like deprive it for 2 minutes and then take a super deep breath after and it literally like boosts your immune system. Like I have a lot of brain fog issues. It literally just like sucks the brain fog out of my head. Like I'll do it if I'm feeling really foggy or dizzy or anything, and I'll literally feel like a brand new person. Like
That's
it
amazing.
stimulates you a lot, and it builds your body's natural tolerance to like how you take stress or like stressful situations. Same with the cold showers. Good for your skin, good for your hair, builds your body's tolerance to stress. All these things help me so much. So I just start like flashing myself with cold water after every shower. And it got refreshing to the point where I kind of like crave it. You know, I
Yeah.
want to do like cryo immersion therapy and like get in a tub full of ice, but I haven't quite like worked my way there yet.
Yeah, it's like you're almost there, but that's amazing to hear that
Yeah.
like it sometimes takes everything stopping kind of like COVID to be take that step back and be
Yeah.
like, okay, I need to address these things. Let's fucking figure it out. Because long term, you're gonna be in. I'm sure even now you're in such a better like
Yeah,
position mentally and
100%.
personally.
Especially like flying for a show, you know, like before, like I had no idea what was going on. I was convinced I had like some sort of, you know, I had been misdiagnosed with Crohn's disease by 2 different
Wow.
doctors and tested negative, got cameras in my stomach. They were like, everything looks good. And I'm like, what do I do here? Like I've the craziest inflammation issues, like it's just a accumulation of things. Like I'm saying stress was anxiety was probably the root of it.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, that's so wild, and I feel like I hear it once like people open up. I feel like a lot of us have those same underlying issues, and it's like everyone has
Yeah.
to find the way that they deal with it correctly.
Yeah.
But that's fucking crazy. So your pup, if you don't mind me asking, doing okay?
Amazing.
Yay!
Yeah.
What kind of dog you have?
It's
I
a
told-
beagle, foxhound, basset hound mix, so it's like a 3-way hound hybrid, just chunk like
Cutie.
giant ears, like the sweetest, most passive dog ever.
Yes.
She had that gnarly surgery all the way down the front of her nose. They said at the vet it was the craziest procedure they've ever done. They found like a forest of hair and cysts like all under her head and like removed it all, and they were like, we think she's gonna be fine, and like seems relieved and happy and like
Oh,
just like healed up so well. So it was the best thing of my life
Yes.
that she was didn't need to go back in or anything.
that's
but-
amazing. That makes me so happy. We have a mini husky border
Yeah.
collie mix.
There's so much personality in
and
one
I
dog.
could never imagine. Like, do you have your studio at home?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's like a studio pup, and like
Yeah.
it's just there's this energy that dogs bring, especially to give you a break from like sitting inside all
Oh,
day.
yeah.
It just all of the benefits. for it.
Definitely. I feel that. Like if I ever do get really anxious or like angry about something, like I go and like pet my dog and like play with her and I just like am smiling and when you
Sweet.
smile you release like chemicals that make you
Yeah.
happier. So like that's another funny thing I do that I feel like makes me look like a psychopath. Like I'll be walking my dog just like smiling at nothing. I'm like, this is good for my brain. I need to do this.
I can
Like-
do this. Oh, absolutely.
When someone sees me out of the window, they're like, that guy's a serial killer, 100%.
No, I feel you. But it's just like, whatever, fuck it. It's like, if it's good for you, it's good for you.
Yeah.
So on the music side of things, I know you've been steadily releasing, but is there a new EP on the way? Are there some new singles? Are you trying some stuff out?
We're rolling stuff out. I have like one of my favorite tunes coming out like next. It's with Jaquee. It's like
Ah,
really cool.
Jordan!
Yeah, Jordan's the shit.
So the shit. He's the
great.
shit.
He's a good
He
friend of
is
mine.
next.
Yeah.
He is so
100%.
good.
I will do whatever it takes to put him on too. Like he deserves that Like I brought him out at WW and played the new song, and like I'll do that any chance I can get. Like if I'm doing stuff in Canada or wherever he is, like he's coming to support the show 100%. I don't care if I have to
Yes.
pay out of pocket for
That's
him to play
amazing.
it, you know.
He's
Like,
so talented.
yeah,
When he
he's
sent
cool.
me the Behemoth flip, he had been sending me stuff for a while because he did a mix for my radio
Yeah.
show. And like when he sent me that, I was like, boy, like everything he sends me is just like love, love.
Yeah,
love,
he
love,
gets
love,
better
love,
every
love.
time. I love it. He always bounces stuff off of me, and he sends some really impressive stuff. Which that new one he sent the whip of it and was like, should I finish this? I don't really like it. And I was like, send me the project file. And I did like this session on it and sent it. And he was like, holy fuck, this is crazy now. And I was like, you just need
Yeah.
you just need to see it through, you know. But
Definitely. It's cool to have like a mentor too, like yourself, to like take someone kind of like under your wing to an extent
yeah,
and be like, hey man, like I'm here for you.
I did sessions with him a really long time ago that I had
told
like
me.
forgotten about. And then I was like, bro, your stuff is crazy now. Like,
It's crazy and it's just hours. Like what
Yeah.
you were saying earlier, it's just hours and work that you put in. And it's like some people just don't understand sometimes that it's like literally just the time that you're willing to put into yourself and like your project.
yeah,
to
that man's
improve.
grinding to this
Yeah.
day. He's hard on himself. He's like, will send me 6 sick tunes he did the month and then be like, bro, I couldn't write anything today. I was like, stop writing. You're writing like way too much.
Yeah. And
'Cause
then
I
he'll
burnt
always
myself
tweet,
out like
he's
that,
like,
too.
I have writer's block. I'm like, what do you mean? You literally, yeah, like you just sent me something the other week.
Yeah.
No, but I'm very happy for him. That's awesome that you guys have collab. First collab coming out, right? You've never
Yeah,
worked
we
with
have
him.
more that we have like
Okay.
worked on, but yeah, this is the first one coming out.
That's really sick. And you already played today? You're playing later?
I played last night with Dion.
Last night.
Yeah.
Okay, how was that?
Super sick. Like me and Dion have done a shitload of like mess around back to backs at the end of the Neon Phantom tour we did with dub loads. We would back to back at the end of all those. But it was cool. We didn't plan much and we just had fun and it went really well. It was super distinguishable who was doing what. There was a really nice like balanced dynamic of company stuff, Dion stuff, and then like a good middle ground of like this kind of fits with both of them a little
Yeah,
bit.
definitely. Did
And
you
I'll-
play on this stage?
Yeah, we played there at 7:30, right after Hero Bust, and yeah, there was a lot of like us being excited about each other's IDs. Like he plays something, and I'm like, "Fuck off! What is this?" And same shit for like when I would play stuff. So
No, that's fire. I'm glad to hear it went well. And like the B2Bs are always fun when they're like with someone who you
yeah,
genuinely
there's
enjoy
they
playing
can be
with.
stressful where you're like loading into a tune that you don't know where it's going, if there's like a tempo change or this
Yeah.
or that. Is this a build up? I don't know. So
When you do those, do you usually plan ahead?
no, we didn't. I have before, but like I think it's best to just do like I'll do 2 or 3 songs, you do 2 or 3 songs. I'll be like, hey, mix out on an impact, or like, hey, build up in 8 bars. Like I try to communicate as much as I can. I have all my hotkeys set up to make it easier, you know,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
That's the key, is like keeping the consistency and like letting it breathe for like 1
Yeah.
second. But no, that's fucking dope. I greatly appreciate you coming on today.
Yeah, that
I'm
was
really
great.
excited to hear that you're doing better
Yes.
and you're fucking ready to get back into
Hell
it.
yeah.
And yeah, thank you so much, Kyle.
course, hell
And
yeah,
New
thank
music
you.
soon.
It's the best.
Live from Forbidden Kingdom.
See you guys.
See ya.
All right.
All
cool.
right, sick.